guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Ofure Behi, and I'm saying welcome to Ofure Center, building a happy home together. So guys, today's video I am actually going to be sharing my my point of view and like talking to our parents, to my fellow parents, okay, like on why we need to explain to our children why we need them, or why it is important for them to do what sometimes we do instruct them to do, because as parents we always tell our kids, our children, do this, do that. Many a times we tell them these things without even explaining to them why they need to do it, or the importance of them doing that thing, or why they should do it, and we just tell them do this, and sometimes they don't understand. So, and at the other hand, without we explaining to them, they might not understand why they should do some certain things, and they might and their opinion also might make them feel like it is not necessary to do, okay, or to be done. So, and you see parents sometimes, where I want to come in again, you see many parents at times come with this notion of, I am your father, I am your mother. And look, if I tell you to do something, just do it without questioning, okay? Do it. Okay, the child knows that you are the parent. So for that reason, they should do some certain things. But I think that is also where we miss it as parents, because by the time we tell them just do this thing, it's like ordering them to do something without actually to also to hear their own point of view, give them room to express themselves, or we telling them why they need to do those things, okay? So what actually bring about my taking to, like, okay, I think this also needs to get to the table of other parents, that we need to know these things as parents, was a discussion I actually was having with my son on this one money as a mother. No, so I was taking him to school, and boom, we bashed on the one of his school students father, okay? And like usual, as parents, we exchange greetings, we exchange ways of greetings, and we were like, okay. Then he was saying hello to my son. I noticed that all the process of him trying to like say hello to my son never responded, and my son didn't even say hello to him in return. And my son my son was just calm, like, oh, you guys should just get done with your greeting and let me go to school, okay? And I noticed it, and I just wave it, And we African parents, we are not like the white parents, because actually the person in question was a white person, since we're based on this part of the world, Italy. So I was then, when we've left greeting and we've gone our separate ways, I turned to my son and I was like, hey boy, you didn't say hello to your friend's father, your co-student's father. Why? And you are both in the same class. And it was like, for some time he didn't want to say anything, and I said, why? It's not good. You have to greet at least someone at least people you know. And this man, you know him because he's the father of your co-student in class, or your classmates. Okay, whichever we use this in this video, just take it, co-student, classmates, they're all the same thing. So I was just trying to talk to him, and he was like, because you know how children talk, and he was like, I don't want. And I was like, just like that, you don't want to greet him. Why? He said, because I don't want, for the second time. And I paused for a while, and I was like, oh, but that's not good. And He was like, no. I said, yes, it's not good that you don't greet people, especially people you know. And he responded to me again for the second time. I was like, no. I said, then I responded and I said, yes. You have to greet people. I mean, you have to say hello to people, and especially people that you know is good and it is very important for you. Okay? And my son can really get me to, like, many a times get me into having a conversation with him, and he's so young, and it really gives me joy that as young as my son, he sometimes can really handle conversation. Okay, you will say my kids are still small, they are still young. No, learn to have conversation with them often, and before you know, they will have that ability to handle issues and to discuss and end their view. Okay, so and then I said, no, it is very important for you. Then, boom, he asked me the question like, why? Oh my God, why? And that why, and you really need to see my son sometimes when he's talking, you just see him, all his eyes, everything, he will just be expressive, expressively, and he asked me why. And I said, okay. I said, now, why is that one? I actually write this thing down, but it's on this phone. I said, okay. I said, now, it is important because, why? Because it shows that, number one, that you love them regardless of who they are or of their person. I said, so it shows that you love them. I said, then two, it shows that you care. Okay, it shows that you care about them, even though you don't go to their house, you are not like, okay, like close friends, or like you are friends. It is good, it shows that you care, number two. And number three, it also shows, and also it shows that you appreciate having them around you, or having to come across them. It shows that you appreciate them. And then lastly, of course, it speaks more of how of a valued of a person you are. So it adds to your personality, it adds to your value as a person. So guys, it is very important you say hello to people that especially or you see you walking with mommy or with daddy, and you see mommy saying hello to somebody. It is very, very important you as well say hi to those people, because it is good for you. And all through the period I was taking to explain to my son, he was just calm, he was just gentle, and he was just listening to me. Okay, and we were walking and we were going to school. So don't mind this ringing, because I'm using phone to shoot actually this video and somebody's calling. So I told my son, I said, so that is why it is very important. That is why, since you asked me why you need to greet these people, then that brought him to then say something. And he said, like, I don't know him. And I was like, yes, you know him. And he said, I don't know him. I said, you know him. I said, you know him. He is so and so person's father. Okay? I said, you remember you were both in the same KG level, in the same the baby children's daycare. And she was your friend. So you know him. And I was trying to bring the person back to his remembrance. And children, they are very, 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 in short, I don't know how to say, but they are very, very interesting people. In short, in their own way, they are so special, they are so unique, and they are very, very, very important people too in their own way. They are so unique, And there was also I remember there was a time we bond on this same girl, and I was saying, say hello to your friend. And he didn't say anything. And when we left, I said, why didn't you say hello to your friend? She's your friend, she's your classmate. And he said something to me. He said, no. I said, why? He said, I don't like her. He didn't even actually use that word, but there was a particular word he used, and I was like, hey, you've learned something bad in school. And he said, what was the word? He said she is ugly. Is the little girl actually ugly? No, she's a very beautiful girl, as cute as himself, And I was laughing. It got me laughing for a very long time. And of course, laughing, it didn't stop me to correct him instantly and immediately. As a mother and as a parent, I quickly tell him, after laughing for a very long time, I ask him, I say, where did you hear that? He actually used it in, he actually said it in Italian, because in Italian, for children, though, they use it at themselves, especially they of that particular age, because my son is actually 3 years old. I know when I'm talking now, you think he's a big grown man. No, he's just 3 years plus. And I'm like, God, this boy, so they use it often, though, among them. Like, it's like a play word for them, but it's good we correct them. And the word was, he said, bruta. He said a bruta. I said, bruta. I said, what do you mean she's bruta? And bruta means ugly. Bruta, to say bruto, bruta. They use it often when they are playing and they get a bit angry. They just, I have noticed it among them, among Italian children. So it got me really laughing. And I'm still laughing each time I remember. I was like, oh. Then I said, no, she's not brutal. She's beautiful. You see, she's a beautiful girl. She's as cute as you are. And I told him, I said, perhaps she did something, maybe she did something to you didn't like, but that doesn't make her ugly. That doesn't make her an ugly person, and that shouldn't make you think she's ugly. And when you say hello to her when you met her on the way, because you guys used to be very good friends, and you are still good friends because you're classmates. So and he kept quiet and was trying. My son, we tried to express himself, and he was trying to express himself, but could not really, and I understand that perhaps they've actually had a little fight, and he has to use that word on her, and maybe the guy actually did something to him he didn't like. Okay, so because my son, when you hurt him, he will stay away from you for a very long time, then before he will come close to you again. Like, if you are not his mommy or his daddy, I'm just telling you, if you are not his mommy or his daddy, that is me and the father, he will stay away from you for some time before he will come back to you again. So, and I think that's that's normal for everybody. Okay, so I was laughing, and I talked to him, like I said, that no, for the fact that maybe she might have done something wrong or that upset you doesn't make her ugly. It doesn't show that she's an ugly person. Okay, it is normal to get flared up when people do something to you, but know sometimes that they don't actually mean to hurt you with their actions or reactions. Then I told him, then again I told him, I corrected him, and I said, and secondly, it's not good for you to always use insultive words. Because in Italian they call it parolacce. And I told him, I said, please, I said, hey, you're going to learn how to be saying parolacce. I said, okay. I said, quello è un parolacce che tu non devi mai dire a nessuno. And he was calm, and he was like, okay, So what am I trying to say? We often tell children, do this, do that, do that, do that, do that. And at the end of the day, they don't know why they should do some certain things. And now, my child was okay. God helped him. He was able to ask me the question like, Mom, why do I need to greet anybody? I mean, especially people I know. Why do I need to greet people? And for him, it was not necessary. And I responded. And now what I want parents to know is that not all children are of the same level to sometimes be able to ask you the questions, this particular question, like why they should do some certain things. But I think as a parent, we should learn to always come in with our children instead of saying and scolding them and shouting and beating them like, hey, you don't do that. When you see your elders, you greet. When you see your elder, you say hello to them. When you don't do that, you greet. I'm your mother, I'm talking to you. Don't tell me no. I'm your mother, I'm talking to you. Don't ask me why. Just do as I say. Hey, mom, dad, come on. They are human. They are just like you. Okay, so maybe you and sometimes you end up doing those things. They still will not understand. They'll just be like, mommy is just being overreacting, like unnecessarily disturbing, you know. And they will not tell you. They'll just look at you like, you know. I also remember this same my son one day. I didn't know what I was telling him, and he didn't do it. So I got flared up and I screamed at him. I screamed and I shouted at him like, hey, you know. Oh my God. He stood for a while and he looked at me. Then after looking at me, there was this look he gave me, and the next question that followed also, he looked at me and he said, why are you shouting, mommy? Why are you shouting? Oh, you I know you are surprised, like just 3 years plus. And you know what? I am not surprised, okay? I am not surprised that my son is like that, because I think he's taking part of me. He take that from me. He takes it also from the dad, because his dad, you just cannot tell the dad to do something without having to explain, okay? Number one. And two, if you need to talk to my husband, just come calmly and talk. Don't shout. Even if you will have misunderstanding, you are angry, don't raise your voice, don't shout. If you are shouting, my husband will not understand you. He will not understand you. So I think he take that part from his dad and from me. And that also that, especially that part of always curious, like to know some things, he took that, I think, majorly from me. Because there are some things I'll be like, why? Like, I don't understand. Help me to understand. So when he does that, when he does it sometimes to me, I'm just like, okay. And when he actually asked me the question, mommy, why are you shouting? I responded to him. Then I calmed down and I talked to him and I said, look, I've told you, don't do this thing. I talked to you calmly, but you didn't listen to me and you got me angry. So I screamed because I am like losing my patience with you. And he was calm. He looked at me and was like, okay. Then I told him, well, I am sorry I screamed at you or I shouted at you, but you have to listen when I'm talking, because when you make mommy talk too much, you get mommy angry. And he said, okay, mommy. So I'm grateful to God for the fact that sometimes I'm able to like also explain to him matters, you know, like try to make him understand without having to like force him to do things, okay? Because it is actually not necessary. Because also, and I'm grateful also to God for the father he gave me, especially my father too. My dad was always like that. My late dad, in his blessed memory, he was always like that. My dad can beat you. He can get angry with you, talk to you, beat you. But he surely will call you, sit you down, and tell you and let you know the reason why he beat you or the reason why he scolded you in the manner he did. And that helps us a lot, especially me. It helps me a lot to like, okay, meaning daddy actually didn't shout at me because he hated me, but because he actually wanted me to understand and he loved me, you know. And two, and you see, so those things, it helps the children to grow matured with this sense of maturity and being able to handle issues without having to be violent. So please, parents, let's always learn to, you know, come down to the level of our children, to explain to them some reason why we want them to do some of the things that we want them to do as children, or as our sons, as our daughters, whether they are grown-up ones and they are teenagers, they are little kids. It is very, very important. So, guys, and also there's something I want to also quickly note while I'm saying this thing, then is that we as parents, okay, let me end this video here so that it won't be too long. I'm definitely going to be talking about that one in my next video, like when they say when they said, as the saying go, that salutation is not love. Hey, God, that salutation is love. Okay, salutation is love, is love. Okay, so guys, like this, I'll end this video here. And please, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, what is my offense? Subscribe to my channel, share my video, and and don't forget to share to your friends. Okay, and because what I just explained in this video now is one of the components that makes a happy and a very beautiful home. So until I see you again in my next video, stay blessed and take care of yourself. I love you guys. Bye. See you in my next video. Bye.